And we are live at the World Three-Wall Ball Championships at the Stratosphere parking lot in Las Vegas. George Tellez is serving to Ricky Ruiz. This is the men's big ball semifinals. As you see George Tellez, he's a legend, 47 years old. One of the greatest big ball players of all time on a three-wall court. Playing one of the kids, the new up-and-coming stars, Ricky Ruiz, is widely regarded as the best player in Southern California. And you can see why with that drive, open hand power out the right door shot there. Look at that dive right there from Ricky, and then another dive from the 47-year-old who's going to catch up to this one. And look at that dive get right there from Ricky Ruiz. Another dive right there from Ricky, but he did not get the point. The score is 1-2. George Tellez. That ball's in. You hear Ricky say it was short. Score is 2-2 here. What most people do not know, most people don't know is that George Tellez is one of the biggest stars of this combined racquetball handball event. Yet, big ball is so underground in such ways that people don't realize just how big of a legend he is. At 47 years old, he's probably been the best big ball player in three-wall for the last 30 years. Living legend out here competing in the semifinals. There's a nice overhand shot right there from George Tellez. 4 serves 2. Look at that shot right there, right-handed side. You hear the crowd going crazy right here for George Tellez. This is the Big Ball Pro Men's Outdoor Three-Wall Championship semifinals match between Tellez and Ruiz. Ruiz, who gets that sliding pass shot right there, plays out at Bristol Park in Downey, California. George Tellez plays, as he says, everywhere in California. There's a little contact right there. George dove in. I'm not sure if he's going to look for a hinder call, but referee doesn't give him anything. He doesn't look back, and I'm going to call it a point. 3 plays 5. Ricky Ruiz, who gets that shot right there, is a top small ball three-wall player. He's also on the Pro Tour in 4-wall, and he is the best player in Southern California in big ball. Look at that shot right there. That's a good call right there from the referee. And a timeout from the old man, 47 years old here on this pro circuit. Big match. It's the World Three-Wall Ball Handball Championships live from the parking lot of the Stratosphere. In most cases, when you say that you're in the parking lot of any place, it sounds kind of corny, but here, about 250 feet away, we look up to the 887-foot monument, the Stratosphere, just towering above the courts here. It's a great backdrop, this Las Vegas Boulevard. Spectacle that we have put on, the World Outdoor Racquetball and World Players of Handball Combined Outdoor Three-Wall Ball Championship on the Vegas Strip right here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. You're watching the men's semifinals big ball championship between Ricky Ruiz and George Tellez. George is the old man, 47 years young, the legend, one of the greatest players of all time in the sport, if not the greatest, against a kid who, if he stays on to 47 years old playing this sport, which we think he will certainly be the future George Tellez. Ricky Ruiz, who looks over at his counterpart and says, "You forgot to put your eye guards on, man." Man. Eye guards are mandatory, but gloves are not in big ball at these games. Referee's going to call the score here. 4 serves 5. We're playing to 15. That's exactly what Ricky wanted. He wanted George to pop it to his right so he can pound it into that right corner. Ricky is a traditional 3-wall small ball and 4-wall indoor small ball player, and he has those off-balance sidearm shots, and you'll see him do it occasionally out here on the big ball court. 5-5. You see George Tellez do more of that driving overhand fish shot, when Ricky will actually go off balance and go sidearm whip into the corner. Listen for the score. 5 serve 6. You hear the round of applause from the underdog, George Tellez, with that overhand tomahawk. Seven serves 5. And you hear that big applause every time George Tellez gets a pass shot for a point or a side out, because he's 47 years old and he's playing the #1 player in California, probably the #1 player in America, and Ricky Ruiz, and that ball's just in. It's a setup. Look at that power from Ricky. Listen for the score. 6 serves 8. Make that 7-8.
Go, come on.
Ricky knows that he's the underdog here. You see a break in the action out here at the Stratosphere parking lot. It's the World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Championships live at WePlayHandball.com. You see the big logo that's floating around in the back of player shirts, WPHLive.tv, giving you this live feed courtesy of Nifty TV at NIFTYTV.com as part of the World Outdoor Racquetball and WPH World 3-Wall Ball Handball Championships, hosted by the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas. We're only about 250 feet away from the actual casino and that big towering 887-foot spire. Oh, nice get from Ricky, but he doesn't make it to the front wall. Another point right there for George Tellez, the 47-year-old legend who passes Ricky on the left side. Ricky's running all over the court. He will get worn down with this hot sun. We're over 100 degrees out here. This ball, that's a get from Ricky. Oh, and George makes that little hand air mistake. There's a side out. These courts are 23 feet wide, 40 feet long, 8 serves 9. First game of the men's semifinals. They go to 15 points in big ball. Both players playing quite tight. It looks like George Tellez is quite winded here. And the problem with that is when you start breathing through your mouth, the arid temperature just sucks that moisture right out of your throat, so it makes it seem like you're dehydrated, even if you hydrated properly. That's a skip in right there. And that ball goes over the top. That makes 11-9. They're going to 15. Referee quickly throws another big ball into the court. Ricky Ruiz is actually happy because he knows that he has the old man tired. That's 12-9 now. Ricky Ruiz. Bristol Park is where he plays 3-wall ball. He lives in Downey, California. 12-9. And that ball's over. And you can see that George Tellez is quite winded right here. "13 serves 9. Referee Joe Harris barks in that score. It's going to be a big setup here. And the ball actually stays in the court, and now it's game point. Serves 9. There it is. Ricky Ruiz takes the first game, 15-9. It looked like that George Tellez was holding his own for most of that first part of that first game. In fact, he was up 10-9, or excuse me, 9-8 at one point, and then Ricky Ruiz went on to a nice 7-point run to close it out to take the first game. You're watching the World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Handball Championships here at the Stratosphere parking lot. Stratosphere Hotel and Casino putting on a great event alongside World Outdoor Racquetball and War Network. My name is Dave Vincent, World Players of Handball, doing this live broadcast here in the booth, and we appreciate the fact that you've tuned in at WPHlive.tv to catch this men's semifinals big ball match. Outdoors in the heat. It's 105 degrees out here on the pavement. There was a temperature gauge that said 121, and these players are certainly feeling that aggression, that heat, that arid temperature as it boils up from the ground. They've been out here for the last 3 days competing in that round of 32, and then the 16s, and then the 8s, and then we get all the way down to the semis, and then the finals are going to be scheduled for tomorrow. There's a lot of action out here, a lot of great faces too up in the crowd as they are really prepared to watch a great match here between the legend George Tellez and the young future superstar Ricky Ruiz. Ricky from Downey, California, and George Tellez from Commerce, California. This has really turned in, this big ball event for the men's pros has turned into an amazing sort of Southern California championship where they do play big ball, 3-wall outdoor handball quite exclusively. And the top pro racquetball players have come out here in droves to watch this semifinals match. Saw Rocky Carson come out here. Said that he's always wanted to watch this, and these guys are amazed at the talent. As are we in the broadcast booth. Looking at the pro sponsors, Stella Artois, DeWalt, Head, Gearbox, Racquetball Warehouse, Pro Kenix, Tool Up, Ahern Rentals and Construction, as well as Mike's Hard Lemonade, World Outdoor Racquetball, 3wallball.com, and the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino as the host, alongside your broadcasting partners and event organizers, the WPH World Players of Handball. My name is Dave Vincent. We really thank you for tuning in to this men's semifinals big ball action out here on the parking lot. There's 8 courts that have been constructed, and players from all around the world have actually joined in to watch and participate in these events this weekend here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are just 250 feet away from the Stratosphere itself and the hotel and casino. 887 feet. It resembles the Space Needle in Seattle. This is one of the tallest structures in all of North America. The big spire is what some of the locals call it. It's just towering over these courts, and about 6 o'clock this afternoon you'll see that amazing shadow that it puts out. Goes right across these courts, right across the parking lot. We have vendors that have come from all around 13 western states to participate in this outdoor championship, which is absolutely amazing. The palm trees, unfortunately, they're breaking world records, at least for their city here when it comes to temperatures. Normally it's in the 80s this time of year, but this weekend it's 105 degrees, and these players are certainly feeling it. As we take a look at that Stratosphere across the street, an amazing sight. You look up there and there's people that are base jumping off the top of that Stratosphere. There's amusement rides, and it's quite the spectacle. It only costs $125 to put your life in jeopardy on that sky jump, is what they call it. It's like a mixture between base jumping and bungee cord jumping, and it resembles that feeling you get when you pull the strings on a parachute, and it sends off about one person every 5 minutes. Sometimes when it's quiet here, which hasn't been often, you can hear the person screaming as they come off of that. As the game just starts, game number 2, and that ball is out. And a quick side out, forcing the legend George Tellez off the court. Ricky Ruiz is now serving game number 2 after winning the first one, 15-9. And that ball is out. That is a side out here with the rules that we have. You only get one serve, meaning no second serve. That ball is out. Ricky hits it into Henderson, Nevada. Oh, that hits our cameraman, Jeff Kastner. That looked like it hurt just a little bit. The referee called that short. George Tellez says it was good. Short means side out. One serves one. Nice shot right there from the legend, 47-year-old George Tellez. When I asked him where he played, he said, I play everywhere. But he's really from Commerce, California. Look at that shot right there from George Tellez, diving re-kill down the right after a first dive right there from Ricky Ruiz. I actually agree with Ricky. Ricky did hit and make contact with George as the dive in, but how are you going to stop play on that? Referee lets him play through as he should. Oh, that ball was in. I actually saw that in. I don't know if we're on that line. I don't think so, but that ball looked like it was right there. Lines are in. That definitely was in anyway. But no complaint from the old man. Listen for the score. Two serves two. That ball is in. You saw that ball curve in the air. Three serves two. Look at that dive right there. He doesn't get it there. Listen for the score. Now you see Ricky starting to get points here. Six serves two. Ricky wins the first game, 15-9. Make that 7-2. George Tellez is certainly feeling the heat out here. 7 serves 2. Look at that great serve from Ricky. And that ball's out. He was going for that 2-wall shot. Just misses it. Two serve 7. Second game. We go to 15. Nice shot right there from George Tellez. When he's in the front court, he's absolutely ridiculous. But Ricky's been able to power balls behind him, pushing him out of that front court. Look at that shot right there, dug up by Ricky, and then pushed inbounds by George Tellez, the 47-year-old legend. I asked him how many big awards that he has won in the game of big ball, and he said, you know what, there's just so many championships and so much that he's done over those years in a sport where it's really not been organized. So he doesn't have a whole bunch of trophies or anything. But he has a lot of big wins. And there's a timeout call. The score is 7-4. When that timeout comes back, you're watching the World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Handball Racquetball Championships live here at the parking lot of the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino. This event also brought to you by Head, DeWalt, Stella Artois, Gearbox Racquetball. We have Racquetball Warehouse, Stratosphere Hotel and Casino, War Network. The same guys that are involved in IRT Network. That's warnetwork.com. ProKinetics, Ahern, Mike's Hard Lemonade, Tool Up, Racket Skins, and the WPH, of course, were involved. This is the War and WPH Outdoor Handball and Racquetball Championships here on the parking lot of the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino. As we watch some of the youngsters here, future stars of the game, jump onto the handball court. This is big ball handball as Ricky Ruiz now gets back in after his 60-second timeout. He won the first one 15-9. This is the men's semifinals versus George Tellez. Ricky Ruiz from Downey, California, plays out of Bristol Park. George Tellez plays in Commerce, California, and all over. 7 serves 4. That ball was a driving miss hit. 8 serves 4 now, going to 15 here. Winner goes into the finals. Chance at a couple $1,000. The fact that a 47-year-old could even make it out here is absolutely amazing. The number 1 seed, Samson Hernandez, is playing Sal Duenas. Look at that nice serve right there from the old man, the legend George Tellez. If there ever was a pro tour in big ball, this guy George would be the most heralded champion. 6 serves 8. Nice shot right there from Ricky. Left-handed paddle into the right corner.
Come on, go. Come on, go, come on.
Ricky known back home as Ricardo Ruiz. Some of his close friends call him Ricky. 8-6, that ball's out. That's a side out. Now George Tellez gets back into the court. 105-degree temperatures out here on the court. It's over 127. 6 serves 8. Second game, 2 games to 15 tiebreaker is also played to that score. Seven serves 8. Another great serve. Yeah, Ricky catches up to it. George Tellez made a mistake. He hit that ball too high. He was supposed to drive that ball down that right wall, but Ricky catches up to it. 8-7. There's a miss hit right there from George. He's upset with himself. They normally don't play, George doesn't, with eye guards, and this tournament is making it mandatory that every player plays with eye guards, and you can see he's constantly taking those things off every chance he can possibly get. Just uncomfortable putting those things on, but that's the rules and trying to keep the players safe. You're watching the World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Handball Championships alongside Racquetball. They're also doing their outdoor championship here at the parking lot of the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino. Brought to you by DeWalt, Head, the War Network, Gearbox, Racquetball, Racquetball Skins, ProKinetics, Ahern. This live broadcast brought to you by Owen Gloves, Tucson Rolling Shutters, and Mintech Incorporated, to name just a few. I want to thank Tom Kopp at Owen Gloves for sponsoring the players and helping out those that have come out here, the participants, to play and enjoy a great weekend in Las Vegas here on that beautiful Las Vegas Boulevard. The Strip, as they call it locally. Towering above us is that 887 foot off the ground structure called the Stratosphere. Absolutely amazing. Just looking up at that structure, it's hard to take your eyes off of it. These players, though, have been focusing on this show court. There's 9 newly constructed courts that have been built just for this event that will be torn down and held locally here, getting ready for the next event that we put on, which will be soon. Now the game is back into play. I heard the score, 8-7. That's a deep serve from Ricky. And that ball just stays in, and George gets the side out. And you know it was in because his entourage gave him a standing O over there on that right side of the show court. Stadium seating. There's another point there for George Tellez. Both of these players feeling the heat, 105 degrees. Now that's a nice let, as they say, from Ricardo. 10 serves 8. Make that 11-8. We're playing to 15. Ricky Ruiz wins the first one, 15-9, and now he leads this game number 2, trying to make the finals of this championship. He hits that ball softer, and then goes for that tomahawk. It's an open-handed tomahawk. He does both the fist and the open hand shot. That one he's trying to splat into that left corner. And that ball hits his counterpart. And then he points at him saying, "I'm sorry." 8 serves 11. Oh, right into that corner right there. It's a beautiful shot. 9 serves 11 now. Now it's 10-11. That ball just in. And serves 11. Boy, that's been such an effective serve, too. Look at that get right there. George stays down because he has to. If he jumps up, it's an avoidable hinder. He stays down. Ricky goes over his head, drives that ball outside the court, and he gets the side out. Ricardo Ruiz serving here from Downey, California. I believe there's a timeout call here from George Tellez. Not sure. Nope, just toweling off his forehead. 11 serves 10. Good serve right there from Ricky, who played that ball, that carom off that right wall, exactly perfect. It checked up right into his overhand fist down the right wall. 12 serves 10, 3 points away from making the finals of this first ever, the inaugural three-wall ball championships. That ball is in, and another point for Ricardo. Thirteen serves 10. Make that 14-10. This broadcast brought to you by Nifty TV, NIFTYTV.com. Nifty Television. They are the leaders when it comes to our online television. NiftyTV.com. I know you're online watching this, so just click over there and check out what they've been doing. It's absolutely amazing, the technology that exists, and most of it, when it comes to this type of programming, is from their hand. They've invented a lot of this technology. Watch this shot from Ricky. He drops down. George knew he made a mistake right there. He was going to try to roll that ball in the right corner, that overhand paddle shot, but it did not work. Trying to take as much time as he possibly can back here in the backcourt. Match point, 14 serves 10. Looked like there was a slight, George didn't get out of his way, just slight little hinder there, but that's the way you play big ball. There's going to be a side out, 10 serves 14. When they get back after 1 minute, you're watching the World Outdoor Three-Wall Ball Championships. It's racquetball, it is handball, it is also the small ball, and it's also the big ball. The big fireball and the small fireball made by Echelon, and the WPH, of course, sells that in the handballstore.com. My name is Dave Vincent. Referee is Joe Harris. We have on camera number 1, it's Jeff Kastner. Across the way from him is Omar Lemus. And in the engineering booth, we have Chris Garrad. Also want to thank PAPS from the IRT and WarNetwork.com organization, who is loaning us a camera. And their organization and ours commingling chords this weekend, which normally in any other setting would sound kind of weird, but here it's actually okay. It's acceptable. This is the men's semifinals match. First one awarded to Ricky Ruiz with his exceptional play, 15-9. And the second game is now 10-14. Serving is George Tellez. He has 10 points. 2 games at 15. Tiebreaker is also to that score. So anything could happen here. The legend, George Tellez, 47 years young. 21-year-old Ricky Ruiz is not only just a great big ball player, but he's also an amazing three-wall, small ball player and four-wall pro qualifier. So I guess you can say he's on the pro tour in that form of handball. What we really need to see from Ricky is a strong showing in the outdoor three-wall, small ball division. Put him up there in that category of like a Tyree Bastidas. I want to thank Mark Gilmer from Midland, Texas for watching this live webcast at niftytv.com and WPHlive.tv, as well as Albert Apuzzi, widely considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, one-wall player of all time. He's watching dinner with Dory 10. is also one of the greatest women's players of all time. And a quick point right there from George Tellez. They're in Brooklyn, New York, eating dinner and watching the live webcast. Amazing big ball action right here from the old man. George Tellez, not Albert Apuzzi, but the other old man. And that ball's in and a side out. Ricky has a chance now to go to the finals. One more serve here. In the other semifinals match, it's Saldoanis versus Samson Hernandez. And that one's not over yet, although Samson was leading. And that ball is in, and now Ricky Ruiz is in the finals. He is enjoying the round of applause from the pro racquetball players as well as the big ball fans and those that have come out, traveled to the stratosphere. There it is, a big hug right there. You see Ricky Ruiz, who's getting congratulated. Like we said, the pro racquetball players are out here admiring what is going on with the big ball players. Ricky Ruiz and Samson Hernandez. We're going to get Ricky on this live webcast really quick. Ricky, turn over to Jeff Castor behind you. I'll ask some questions here. You see Jeff in the red shirt over there?
Yeah.
I think you remember him because you hit him with the ball earlier in one of the rounds.
No, it was going.
Tell me, you know, the heat is absolutely something you're used to heat because you live in Southern California, but this is a dry heat. You open your mouth, you breathe through your mouth, and all of a sudden the water is gone. Tell us what you feel.
Exhausted.
It's hard to talk, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's easier to talk because you got the victory. So, I'm so tired right now at the moment, but feel good.
I'll let you catch your breath here. You know, these show courts were made specifically for that racquetball, which we call the big ball. How do you feel out here on these courts?
I feel great. There's a similar court out in Southern California, kind of like this, but it's much different out here because of the weather. So, much different weather.
Tell us what that weather does to you when you're on the court trying to breathe.
Oh, I have to use all my timeouts. I hardly use timeouts in this when I play, but this weather's kind of pretty difficult to not take your timeouts.
Yeah, we'll talk about your we'll talk about you for a second. For those that don't know George Tellez, could you tell those at home a little bit about him, the legend?
He's like 50 years old. He's been playing top 5 handball for the past 30 years. So, I mean, you got to have a respect for him, you know. Can't give him any easy shots because he almost got me in that game, you know. But, no, Grigori's, he's a really good athlete, you know. You got to have a lot of respect for him. Respect him a lot. You know,
the amazing thing about him was he was being called an old man and still winning everything the year you were born, which is pretty interesting. You're 21. He's actually in his upper 40s there. Ricky, really quickly, I'll let you go do your warm down. Or, you know, here you're always going to stay warm. But tell us what you feel about the stratosphere and the event organizers putting on this event.
This is the best event I actually have been to, hands down. We're in Vegas. There's not a tournament like this. You can't compete to this.
We're telling those, your fans at home and your friends, that you're a outdoor three-wall ball specialist, but you probably disagree with me. Maybe you don't, but here you are the number 2 seed, but you also play other forms of handball.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on the pro tour and 4-wall. You qualified there. We don't see you in the small ball national tournaments every year, but you've certainly won a ton of those in Southern California. What's your big thing that you're going to be working on? What sport? What form?
4-wall, small ball. Try to get back into the pros. Got to get up there, you know. See a lot of players now that I used to be when I was younger, and it gives me that little push, you know, start playing again. But I'm gonna go up there.
Have you ever thought about playing big ball 1-wall, competing with guys like Tyree and those that are coming out to this tournament?
We actually have a match now set up for April. Me and Samson are gonna head out to New York. We're gonna play 1-on-1. He's gonna play Ricky Wright, and I'm gonna play Pee Wee Castro for big money. So we're set up there.
You think you can hang with those boys?
Yeah, I think so. Same ball, just, you know, it's all mental.
I saw the way that you're using the walls. Your serve was right on the corner over there, which is absolutely amazing. And you do have sort of a 1-wall game anyway. So Of course, I know the one-wall players back home are wondering the same thing that I'm wondering. Can you play that one-wall big ball game? And hopefully someday we'll see you do it.
Yeah, well, we're going to see in April.
Hey, well, we'll also worry about that some other time because now you're in the finals. It looks like you're going to play Samson Hernandez.
Yeah.
This is your biggest rival right now downtown. In the areas that you play, and like George, you play everywhere. So you play out of Bristol Park, but in California, out of Downey, California, but also you play in every little park around California. So tell me really briefly here, what about his game tomorrow when you play him in the finals? What's going to go on there?
I just got to minimize my handers because he doesn't make any handers. He's very powerful. We know each other's game very well, but doesn't make any handers, and I just got to minimize those and put away my setups the first time I get them.
He's also your doubles partner, and tonight you have a doubles match right here on this court, I believe, in the finals at 7 o'clock. So make sure to get on to, start text messaging your friends and let them know that you're going to be on live here at WPHLive.tv. Okay. Have a good game, good luck, and good job winning today.
I want to thank One Shot International, by the way. Thank you.
All right. That's Ricky Ruiz, who just wins that semifinals match. We are going to take a timeout, get ready for the women's finals here in just a few shakes. You stick close. We are doing the World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Handball and Racquetball Championships from the parking lot of the Stratosphere. For Chris Garrad, Jeff Kastner, Omar Lemus, and those that helped this broadcast, my name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in just a few. You stay right here.